Hey, hi folks, everyone. Thanks everybody for joining on a Friday, 6 p.m. Today we have the one and only Manthan Gupta from Agno with us. He's a senior system engineer at Agno and they are building a really great framework to build multi-model AI agents. Previously it was known as Data. You might have seen them on Twitter. People have shared a lot of examples of building cool things with Agno. And he is also the creator of ClickLang. It got famous, I think, last year or before that. Over to you. Looking forward to learning from you.
Thank you, Ash, for the introduction. As Ash mentioned, I work as a senior systems engineer at Agno. I am also the creator of ClickLang, which is a fun programming language for all the cricket enthusiasts. I released it exactly a year back, so it's also a 1 year anniversary for that as well. But
Like 28th February itself?
first March.
Okay, like almost the same thing. Awesome. Happy 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, we are not going to be talking about ClickLang, of course, here, but building AI agents with Agno. You all must be aware about the agentic systems coming up to you know the great it's a hot word now, AI agents, and agents are coming up. And what I am going to deliver here is an introduction to the terminologies used in the agentic systems and how to build basic agents with Agno. I'm going to start with what is Agno, how function calling, what's function calling, what is knowledge base, and what Agno does in this case. You might also heard about uh, other frameworks like LangChain, QAI, and then there is Agno. So that's setting up a little bit of context here. That I am assuming that nobody here knows what AI agents are, and we and never have built even a simple agentic system or even a simple agent. We're not gonna dive deeper into how complex orchestration of agents is done, which is done via workflows. If you are interested in going deeper into that later, but let's start with the simple. What is AI agents? So what are AI agents is just you can consider AI agents as a simple program or a script that has a brain of its own. And if you give it a task to do, let's say you are interested in cricket and you want to know all the India matches of India happening every day. Just for an example, what you would do is that you will give the agent the correct tool and and run it as a cron job or whatever you would feel like. And and the agent will do the scraping of, let's say, calling the correct function to get all the matches of India from that tool. It could be a ClickBus tool, which internally makes an API call to the ClickBus API and gets you all the matches of India on that particular day. But you don't have to now take care of all the logic of getting it. You just write a 15 line of code uh, with the agent, give it the tool, and just get the results on your end. And that's how I would explain an agent be with an example. So they can of course understand what's happening around them, make choices. They are trained on a lot of data, and they combine with AI models, the large language models like OpenAI, Anthropic, Grok, and there are more DeepSeek, and there are more examples of LLMs, but these are the few at the top of my head. So with the ability to use tools, access to external systems, and execute tasks without constant human supervision. So you don't have to look after them as much as you would to well-defined systems now. And where does Agno fits in all of this? So Agno is a lightweight library for building multimodal agents. Uh, we have a very lightweight library to build agentic systems. You're going to see the simple agents like a 15, 20 line of code doing some basic things. We will give them tools. We will give them knowledge base to search through vector databases and more kind of things in this talk. So some of the key features of Agno, we are model agnostic. You can work with Agno with any model that you have. The majority ones like OpenAI, Anthropic, Hugging Face, DeepSeek, Grok, Olama, and these kind of providers. We are multimodal, so we do support image input, voice, audio input, image input, audio input, video input, and similarly outputs on the other end. We are multi-agent, so you can not only build a single agent but also orchestrate a complete agentic system where 4 or 5 agents or even more are working together to achieve one task or multiple. Then we have the memory management and knowledge stores. So memory management is allowing you to attach storage to the agent to give you the chat history of all. So what happens is right now with OpenAI or all these LLMs, they don't have the context. They actually lose context of the chat in about 5 to 10 messages or even more. But when you give it a storage, the LLM has all the context of the chat history in a particular session, and they know what's happening and they have the context to answer you correctly. And with knowledge stores, it's the vector databases. So with vector databases, you get the ability to embed documents and have that. So I'm not going to go deeper into that because that will get a little more in depth. So some people do such a data, such a data, and with cost, we ran some benchmarks against Magic, and we were quite complex also in Magic in session. We also support monitoring, which is when you can track session on our platform, which is you can find Agro.com, and you can track sessions, what was the as what is the and track sessions like what happened during what was the reasoning, and what are the risks and how it is taken account. So these things. We do also have agent UI, a playground where you can test your agents from your local system on an UI on the UI. So I, if we have enough time, I will show you that at the end of the session. Sure. So let's open your IDs and we are gonna start building now. I'm gonna be sharing my ID. So first of all, what we will do is install Agno, of course. Uh, I have I have made my environment using UV Agno. But what you could do is you can directly use pip install Agno and that should be okay. I've already installed Agno on this in this environment, but please go ahead and install Agno. Now we are going to be using OpenAI, and so pip install OpenAI. Yeah, and yes, those are the two commands that we need now. So now let's start with the basics. So now to define an agent, what we do is we have a variable and we bring up the agent class. We import it from agno.agent import agent. This is how simple it is to just use. You can see how simple it is. You won't see this in other frameworks that how easy the developer experience is to building agents here. And we have initialized an agent now. Now let's say we start with a name, basic. Now we have given it a name. Let's start with giving it a model. So we do it by giving the parameter of OpenAI model and OpenAI chat, and we define the model of it. I'm going to be using GPT-4o because it's a uh, good trade-off of speed and the cost. So now we are going to import this from agno.model. So we now have the name of the agent and the model of the agent. Now what we will do is give it a description. So you can give it. Giving a description is optional here. You can skip this. You can keep it. It's okay. Now let's give it our first query. Let's start with the simple one. What is the capital of France? But before this, I will have to export my OpenAI key. So just a minute. So what I will do is I will create a new file with the name .envrc and paste it here. What you will do is you will paste export OpenAI API key and equals to this, whatever your key is. And then what we will do is we will run source.envrc to persist the key here. So now we will run it with Python basic.py. See, now you have built your first agent, which actually answers a very basic query: what is the capital of France? And it gives you the capital of France is Paris. Now, this is a basic agentic system. Please confirm if you all were able to run this on the system and you got the answer. I paste the code in the Google chat. You can copy it and try to run it online. You can also pass the API key in this OpenAI chat if you're not able to do that. Just follow it up. So you can do something like this. And this will also work. Akash, I will have to set up a GitHub repository right now. But really good suggestion. What I will do is after I'm done with the session, I will push it to a GitHub repository. Thank you for the suggestion. Cool. Now, if I add a stream equals to true here, what it will do is it will stream the response to me. Instead of just giving me the block of answer, it will just stream it. So this was a very small one. But let's try. So now I'm asking it about its history. So you can see at the screen that it's now streaming the response. Yeah. Now when it's done, it will just give you the output on your screen. I'm right now using the print response function, which is why you are getting the output on your screen on the terminal. But you can use the dot run function here, and that's going to be okay. So that what you can do is you can get this in a variable. There's a response, and I will just do a response dot content. Yep. So now you can see that you get the content from response or content into response. Cool. Let's move to the next thing now. So now, what is function calling? So I'm not sure if you have heard about function calling, tool calling in general, but function calling is when an AI agent can use specific external tools to help answer your questions. What happens is that I'm going to make another file here. Copy this. Cool. So I will explain what is function calling with this example now. We will now give it a tool here. So you write the param tools and have a square brackets here, and we will use DuckDuckGo. We will use the DuckDuckGo tool, which is the DuckDuckGo search tool. And you do it. You just have the tools here, the DuckDuckGo tools, and import it using this. Pasting the code in the chat. So now let's ask it the latest news. Let's hope this works. Oh yes. So before running this, you of course have to install it. You can do it using. Let me install DuckDuckGo search. I will paste this as well. So now, oh yeah, DuckDuckGo is very limiting because it rate limits you a lot. So I might have to try again. So what happens is that you ask the question to the agent. Agent recognizes the tool that it has to call, which the agent would need help for, and then the agent calls that tool with the right information with the query params, not query params, but function parameters that is needed to call them. So DuckDuckGo, I will show you what tool calls are happening, but then the tool call happens, and then agent receives the result and includes it in the answer. So now let's see what happens under the hood. So I've added this show tool calls equals to true to the agent. Now see the difference in the answer. I will put a stream for first. So first what happened is there were two tool calls that happened here. First is the DuckDuckGo search. So what happened is it searched on DuckDuckGo, called what is the capital of France, and then it made another tool call to get the news about Paris and with the max values of 5. This is actually the function parameter that was passed on. So query equals to capital of France and query equals to Paris with max values 5. When a file data imports will work, but I won't be able to help you much the debugging, because that would be another case. So DuckDuckGo search with your query and DuckDuckGo news with query and max results, and you get the results in a beautiful way on your terminal. I will use this code, and with just a single function, with just a single param of show tool calls equals to true, we were able to see what tool calls were made by the LLM. Ashutosh, I think Harsh will be able to confirm about the recording.
Yep, the recording will be shared, guys, in the Tech Career Tech Talks group after the session by 10 p.m.
Yeah, DuckDuckGo is a pain in the ass. The rate limiting got way bad recently, uh, but it is the only search engine that you can use without any API key. It's very easy. So yeah, here are the imports actually. Satyajit, making the query shorter, it all depends on the LLM what they're passing it to the function calls. I won't say they make it shorter. I would say they make it more precise. If they're making it, let's say if they're making a function called to a news function with the query that the capital of France is Paris, but tell me the news about it. So it's just a bigger query, and that would also work in this case. But I think LLM it's just upon the model how they perceive and pass on the information to the next function call. You can of course use any other search engine. I'm not completely sure, but we do have Google search, we do have Exa tool, but you will need an API key, and this is the fastest way to just get started with. I want to show you how to build an agentic RAG system with Agno now. This is the cool part now. So first of all, what is knowledge base? A knowledge base is a database of information uh, considered as storage only, but uh, the databases used in storage is way different than databases used for knowledge bases, because those are vector databases. Uh, you can search more about vector databases after this workshop, because I won't be able to get deeper into it, because I will have to. The Pandora box will get opened with embeddings and how things work internally. So the information that is stored in a vector database and provides agents with the context. So what happens is with agentic RAG also, what happens is that we are making a function call to the vector database search option, search function. And I'm not going to go deeper because I'm very close to getting into the details, but I don't want to. Nitin, we don't use any by default any vector database or knowledge base. It's up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to make you install anything. It's going to be a local vector database that does not need any setting up on your system. Cool. Let's start building agentic RAG. I'm going to make another file. I'm going to copy the one from the basic one and pass it on to this RAG. So we are, of course, name. We can move to RAG, model OpenAI chat again. Now description. So we are going to give it a recipe here. Give it a URL of a recipe. And we are going to search for something, and it will search for a particular recipe. We are going to pass a recipe book, and we are going to search for a particular recipe. And what will happen is that the agent will answer from that knowledge base after searching. Cool. So you are export. Now, there's another thing that we can do with agents is we can give them instructions, well-defined pointers to what they are actually going to do. Because sometimes what happens is that some models or providers or LLMs are not very smart enough, because of course they're not going to be very smart. Sometimes we have to be very clear in our explanation that what they have to exactly do. So in that case, we add instructions. We say search your. You can actually skip this because GPT-4o is very smart and it will make the call. But something like a Llama 3.18b model or Llama 3.28b model might hallucinate a bit to make the right tool call. for the knowledge base search. So search a knowledge base to answer the questions. If you don't know the answer, say I don't know. So sometimes what happens is that they hallucinate and they start searching from their own knowledge, the data that's been trained on, and they give incorrect answers. And it's something like a in a medical agent system. What will happen is that if they search from their own data and give an incorrect answer, it might cost lives of people. So it's better to just be very definitive that if you don't know the answer, just say I don't know. That's better than giving the incorrect answer. Now, what I will do is I will define the knowledge here. So we will have PDF URL knowledge base, and I'm going to paste the URL that I'm going to be using in a minute. But before that, let's also define our vector DB. And I'm going to be using the Lance DB here because that's in, I think it will be in file. It will store in your files. So our URL, which is the location that we are going to save it. Lance DB. We're going to table name. I usually go with recipes here because that fits more. Recipes and then the header. I'm not going to go deep into embeddings, what embeddings are, but something for you to search later. You can use multiple embeddings, different kinds of embeddings. So let's import all of these. Now, let's start with PDF URL. Package. Advanced, advanced DD, and embedders. Not, yeah. Now, when I run this, it won't work because we have to do some installations that you will find out in a bit. Let's we'll have to do agent knowledge dot load recreate equals to false. What recreate it does is whenever you keep on running this same script, what recreate does is if it's true, what happens is it keeps on dropping the collection and then recreating the collection and then inserting the documents again. If it's true, if it's false, what happens is that it does not recreate the whole collection or the table and just inserts it the data again. I'm just going to share the URL in a minute. I've pasted the URL, so you can use the same URL. And now we are going to be asking for how do I make a type. Let's start with that. And data stream equals to true. So now we have the agent, we have the name, we have the model GPT-4o. We have added the description, we have added the instructions to direct the LLM that it needs to search the knowledge base for the answer. And we have defined the knowledge. It's a PDF URL knowledge base because this is a link to a PDF and it's a link. We do have PDF knowledge base and YouTube knowledge base. We have different kind of knowledge bases that you can use. You can use multiple knowledge bases with a combined knowledge base inside which you can define all these knowledge bases into one. We have defined the vector database, which is the last DB right now, and we have the path that is going to be storing a table name and embedded. We have defined the agent, and then what we do is we load the documents from that URL to our knowledge base, and then ask the question. Now we are going to get error because we haven't installed some of the packages. Yes. So we start with this one. I put it in the chat. Now we're going to get more errors. Yes, because we haven't installed downstream. So now you can see it's answering from the knowledge base. To just show you, we will add show tool calls. What's it do? And run it again. So if you see, there is a search knowledge base with our query, how to make Thai curry, and it then gives it from that. There is another thing that you will notice that we added zero documents to knowledge base, and there was no dropping of the collection and creating the collection again because we had the recreate here false. And yeah, and the documents are already loaded, so there is no need to add more documents and duplicate these documents inside the knowledge base. And we get a pretty good result. I'm not a chef, but if anyone knows, they can answer it if the recipe is correct. Akash, we have uh, multiple knowledge bases that you can use. It's not we do have a PDF image knowledge base. We have a different kind of readers. We have image reader as well. So this is just an example. You can of course go to the GitHub repository and explore it more, or go to our talks. But for now, please confirm if everyone was able to run this. And you can see that here it's a temp folder that has been created with the last GB and recipes. I won't be able to open it because I don't have the extensions to render it on my. Yeah. But you can see there is a .lens. It's a .lens extension. So the data is there. I'm going to take it as a yes that everyone was able to. Let me know if you're facing any errors. We might be able to debug if it's a small one. Cool. And we have actually built an agentic rack for which internally takes around 5,000 lines of code, and you are able to achieve that with 28 lines of code, which is in my thought a good trade-off to use this, and definitely a very clean way. You can actually look at other frameworks, and you will understand how good the developer experience is. Even removing my bias for the framework, I actually prefer Agno because of how clear things are and how easy it is to build things. It's literally like just defining things. You just have the mental model that okay, I want tools. You just do tools equals to this. I want to add a knowledge base now. You do knowledge equals to this. You add a vector database with vector DB equals to this. And we do support multiple vector databases, knowledge bases, different kind of models because we are model agnostic. Yeah, I mean this is just scratching the surface, and I can direct you on to the. Also, this is the only thing that I wanted to cover in this workshop. Just scratching the surface here so that you can all go back and explore on your own, because this is going to be very fun for you as well. And I will upload the code on GitHub. Thanks for the suggestion. I don't remember who gave it, but thanks for the suggestion. And that was a good one. You can all follow me on Twitter if you'd like. If you'd like that. In the meantime, if you have any questions,
Shall we dive into questions? Any plans to release Agno for JS ecosystem?
Shobit, we don't right now. We have no plans right now because everyone see the machine learning community and even the whole agentic community is in Python. Majority of them. So JS, it might come in the future. I won't say no, but I don't know right now. We don't have any plans or it's in or on the roadmap right now. Homeworks, browser use. That's a good one because you can actually integrate it with. You can actually build your own browser use if you want. Is there any voice mode in Agno? Yes, Harsh, you can get a voice output and voice input as well. So examples, you can go to the GitHub, you will find audio output and audio input examples in the GitHub repository. I will share the link to the GitHub repository as well. I can keep them out like that as well. Do we have any questions?
I think if you don't have from the chat, I think there was a good set of questions from the registrations. Let me just find something good. Uh, 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 um,
Harsh, we right now don't support MCP, but we are getting a lot of say community requests for MCP, and we are thinking of doing it. Nitin, Open AI API key is not free. I think they do give $5 free for at the start. I'm not sure right now, but they do cost, and it depends on model to model. So I suggest you go to their site and check the pricing.
From the registrations we had, can we use Agno with local models like Llama 3.17b?
Yes. As I said, Agno is model agnostic, and you can use it with pretty much every model that's available in the market right
And I think someone had a general question around like how do you maintain such a big open source project?
now.
If someone wants to contribute, like how can they get they started? Any tips for them?
Sure. To get started, you can start with adding tools, adding new embedders, adding support for new things. Like I think the easiest one is to start adding support for new tools. We are always looking out for contribution from the community for tools, and would love to have some.
Awesome. Any other questions from the audience? Will it be able to perform web scraping with Agno multi-model agentic flow?
Vinay, you can scrape using Firecrawl tool. We have a Firecrawl tool. I'm not sure we do have another scraping tool, but I'm not sure about the name. I'm not able to remember it right now, but we do support web scraping with Agno. You can build multimodal agentic flow. Uh, I've dropped the GitHub link. You can check the workflows there. You can build. I actually built a EM agent, which took an input of a Zoom call, the transcript from the Zoom call. You put it, it creates tickets for you on linear based on who said what, and create a Slack message as well for you to with a summary of the meeting, and also create the linear tickets for you assigned to you. So you do this was just like scratching the surface, and you can build much more complicated workflows. Nitin, I just wanted to show you how tool calls work, and it wasn't. I mean, OpenAI is not going to be searching on the web, right? So I just wanted to show how tool calls work.
Yeah, I think we needed that for the real-time info, right? So that's why we added it. Akshay had, I asked a question regarding tool calling in the chat. I would like to know how it works internally, would help to know how it to scale.
So what you usually do is that what happens is that we pass all the tools that we have to the LLM, and it makes the call very smartly. That uh, with the description, of course, we pass the description, we pass the arguments that is to be passed to the function, and all these kind of things to the LLM, and we let it make the decision, and then we parse it on our end. So I won't be able to go into much detail here because it's like a opening a Pandora box. But what I can do is you can search for function calling. It's OpenAI.
I think Ashutosh had a question. I'm a newbie in this field, don't know Python or how code works. Where should I?
You have to start learning a little bit of Python. I would say get a little bit of sense of code. Uh, I won't say that Python is required to work with. I mean, to learn Python, it's just not a hard requirement, but a little bit of experience actually helps you in building those mental models to code.
Nitin was asking instead of using LLMs, can we use search result, maybe using Beautiful Scoop? Yeah, I think you can scrape however you like. Either use DuckDuckGo or write your own scraper and attaches a tool. Akshay was following up like sort of like a JSON payload to trigger stuff. I think this was in reference to the function calling thing.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm not sure, but yep, sounds. I mean, yeah, I mean, internally we're just making it JSON.
The tool calling can only be done using the SDK, right?
Nope. We are actually trying to make it easier for you to do it. Tool calling is you can use the raw APIs to make the tool calling work, but that's a lot of work for you. And you might, like I said, behind the scenes we have wrote around 10,000 or 20,000 of code. I'm not even sure how long the code is now, but we have abstracted it so well for you that you just have to now mention the tools that you have to use and not take care of what the API does or not.
I think we'll take last two more questions. Does Agno support audio transcription with using models like Whisper?
Yes, Anurag, we do use. We also support audio transcription with this.
I think that might be available somewhere on the docs, right? Like a guide related to that.
Yes, I will share the link to the docs.
Mohammed Sugar had a question. Use Pandas library, which is mostly used ML and data science people. So it is like we have to know about this ML
No,
thingy.
Mohammed, it's an internal thing. We don't want you to learn ML, AI, or anything. We just need a little bit of experience of working with code, and that should be okay. We don't have to learn ML, AI, or anything for this.
Perfect. And I think last question of the day, I think it's a good one. Just a general one, like how would you start learning AI and ML if you were starting today?
So funny story. Uh, I was specialized in AI, ML, and TL, but I haven't used it that well, and I won't be the correct person to answer this. How would I start? Because I feel that you don't need to learn AI, ML anymore. There are people that are expert and they are actually working on on AI and ML models to build them. But as a general person, as a normal person who is not that smart, like the AI ML people, I would prefer to just be using their APIs and build with Agno.
Likewise, likewise. I think we can wrap this up. It's 7 p.m. And thank you so much, Manthan, for doing this wonderful session. I think anybody who had just called LLM APIs now got to learn how to build full-fledged agents from the very beginner ones to the advanced ones with agentic RAG and everything. So I'm dropping Manthan's X account and Agno docs. Please, guys, check out these two links. Follow Manthan on X to get to know about the latest happenings on Agno and in his life. And on Agno docs, you will get to know everything, how to install it, if you miss something, and also a lot more of the other features and a lot of examples that you can see to get a better feel of the whole library and everything. And yeah, thanks again everybody for joining on Friday night. And yeah, go party out, go wild, and have a really good rest of the week. Thank you, Om. Thank you. No worries, we'll be doing a lot more cool stuff, so it's never too late.
I might do a second session.
We would love that. We would love that. Oh, is it your birthday also on March 1, or is it like the Kriklang only?
Yes. It's tomorrow.
Your birthday is also.
Yes,
Oh
I did
damn.
it on my birthday.
Oh damn, that's awesome. Crazy, crazy. So we have one more day. Okay, but happy birthday in advance in case somehow we forget.
Thank you.
Perfect. See you folks. Thanks everybody for joining. Have a great rest of the week. We will share the recording on the group soon. So yeah, if you want to share it with your friends or if you want to review it for, a better understanding, we'll share it on the group and the channel very soon.
You can reach out to me on Twitter if you have any questions. Now X, but yeah.
Yeah. We won't stop calling it Twitter. Old habits die hard.
Cool. Bye, everyone. Have a nice week.